Yeah, because it's already the live. Now, well, we're sitting here having a conversation, all real nice and everything, and then it was almost like one of those movies at the bar when somebody says something goes.
The music turns off.
The record stops playing,
Yeah.
and everybody went like this and looked at Bernice. Right?
Yeah. Oh.
What did you say, Bernice, to stop this party right now?
I said the biggest thing that I've had to face in 2020 was when we did the casting for Blueface.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
You're that. We've been looking for you, Bernice.
And you were right here the whole time. Oh,
Hey, I've been on social media. It's funny because everybody reaches out to my team members, but everybody has my page too. So why not voice it to me directly? I'm not hiding. I'm still working.
What?
You know. So.
What kind
Let's
of
bring it on.
what kind of hate have you gotten from that thing?
Oh, you know, they're disrespecting the raza. They're taking our culture. How can you let them, you know, him have the flag around his waist? First of all, you weren't there. You don't know what the hell he had around his waist.
Explain
It was
to us.
a towel, right? Freaking the Carne asada, like, whole concept. The song is trash lyrically, but, for example, this is how I see it as far as executing a job, right? If I hire you to come, or let's say Chris, we'll use Chris, right? He's on the mic, and you hire him to do the mic. Is he gonna be like, well, depend. What are you gonna talk about? I don't know if I want to volume up or not. You know, I'm a casting agency. You hire me to cast. I executed a job. You know.
But to be perfectly honest with you, you didn't know. You just, hey, we need a job. This guy's doing a video,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. Now, if the argument would have been, hey, you know what, like, they're degrading women in this video, I agree, but those women didn't come from me. So, therefore, you're adults as well. These women agreed to do whatever role they played in that. That's them. I'm a casting director. I'm not nobody's mama or babysitter. So, therefore, I'm not there to say, oh, that looks wrong, that looks whatever. Now, one of the things that upset me the most was, I think the fakest people were the ones that were talking the smack, right? Like, they rob our culture, they do this, they do that, like, you know, this whole brown on black thing. And first of all, if the race is the concern, like, because it's a black man talking about carne asada and all this other crap, then stop wearing J's on your feet that come and designed from a black man. Stop bumping predominantly oldies, which a lot of artists are blacks. Stop, you know, Tupac and Biggie and, like, quoting them and wanting them to be the next them. Like, is it only convenient to some artists or some iconic figures because they're black and you idolize them? Or is it you're jumping on a bandwagon of whatever's trending because of what was happening with the vendors and all that stuff, you know? So, like, people need to start making up their own mind about shit, you know?
I got an answer for you. Okay, I hear that argument a lot. First, myself, I thought that was a disrespectful song. I never was one of the guys that said, "Oh, fuck them fools that went over." Nah, to me, I knew already. It was a business. And actually, I know a couple guys that went there, and they told me, "Hey, fool, like, you know, it's a casting thing. They called me up. They're doing a video. Most times they just do one shot here. You're gone. They do another scene. They bring the homies. They do. Nobody's got time to sit there and see what's going on. Sometimes these guys are just lip syncing the shit or whatever it is. And at the end, when the whole shit edited, and you were there. You let this happen. So that I get. But the song itself, yeah, dude, it was disrespectful. It was horchata, carne asada to me. And you know what I did on the video? And I did a video on it. And I got a lot of hate from black people. I put an old blackface at the intro of my video where da-da-da-da-da, doing the little shit as a white man with blackface. And people are like, and my wife was like, "Are you going to really air that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to air that." Because that's how I feel. When I seen that guy doing that, I felt myself as a black man would feel as a white man right now coming out and doing all this shit. And I don't blame you. I don't blame the homies. But when I hear also that argument you said, I'm glad you brought that argument. They always say, well, you listen to our music. You listen to that. Back in the days, white people listened to black music all day long. They were racist as fuck. They're not listening to that music because I want to be like him. They're listening to music because it's entertainment and it's entertainment.
Right.
So I think that argument, it doesn't really hold water. The argument, as far as not even wanting the J's, I think dressing, emulating, because nowadays speaking that
saying the N word.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna get mad if one of them say, and what up, essay, like to another, but then it's okay for you to be like, hey, what up, nigga, like you can't, it's a double standard, and everything is so loose with words nowadays. There's no, it's like, it's equally disrespectful on both ends, that there's never been that, well, we hold you to this standard and then, we expect that back. There's always been that conflict, which I think it's convenient for a third party to see us destroy one another and using our own tactics and the way that we do it, because we still become the bottom of the totem pole instead of coming together and bringing ourselves up. And and going back to what you said, like why people would listen to black music a lot because it was entertainment. Unfortunately, our youngsters think that's entertainment today, so that's why people listen to it, whether it be the beat that's catchy. Half of the time nowadays, the people are not even listening to the damn lyrics, unless it's us. Then it comes out and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? But half of these guys are just mocking the verse or the chorus or the whatever, not even knowing the story behind certain dialogue, right? So I'll get like a little deeper into the way I'll defend this is, okay, if it's a culture thing, right? Like the flag, the carne asada, using our terms that we use on a daily basis. If we go back to our knowledge and our history and time, half of these things are not even Mexican. Let's be honest. The Mexican flag has been altered 68 times. The Mexican flag was originally with the Virgen de Guadalupe, and it was changed by government because spirituality wasn't something that was really acknowledged. Like, they didn't want to bring that, so they put an eagle on there. So it's been altered so many times, right? Carne asada is not Mexican. It comes from Venezuela, from a king that used to like...
Says you.
No, says the history.
Carne asada's from over here, man.
Well, we've adapted to it, and the history, and like if you do the research on every term, like it's brought up.
No, but we made it ours.
Okay.
We made it ours.
We make
tacos
everything
are ours.
ours.
Okay, we made it ours. Okay, we made it ours.
But like history wise, right? Like, so when you have these youngsters not knowing the true history of things, yeah, you're gonna be like, that's our culture, like braids or whatever, but so back in the day, our indigenous people, we were too poor to afford cattle, to buy carne, so we ate plantas and everything. So when they started bringing that meat into our dynamic, then that's how you were able to see who had money and who didn't, or you were forced to eat that,
That's when menudo kicked in.
Then you look at the term horchata. Yeah, we've adapted it and made it ours, but that's not even ours either. It comes, again, from another culture that has made profit off putting it in a platillo mexicano. So are they really taking our stuff from us, or we're just getting offended because it's something we've adapted and took in under our wing and embraced it, and then somebody else
that's almost like telling
it up.
That's like almost like telling every gang member in Los Angeles, hey dude, that block is not yours, it's a white man's block. In their head, this is my hood, this is my thing. So I think
But what's the reality of it?
Well, the reality is this. The reality is that there's a fine line, right? And the fine line that I'm for sure Blueface crossed it. YG was just there. YG came out with the mariachi suit, right? And YG's always with the Mexican attire. It's funny how you see a brother with the Mexican attire and fools be like, damn, fool's gangster. You see an essay with the Mexican attire, like, look at that fool. Like,
he's a bison.
Yeah. You'll be clowning them, right? Well, that's another argument we'll have or a discussion. But when I saw him in the mariachi suit, I said to myself, no, man, this is wrong, because what happens is we start looking at it like, listen, they're not really mocking. It's Spain. It's 100 years. It's this. It's that. But it becomes a fine line where it's gonna cross from just kind of emulating. You're gonna start mocking. And after I saw that Blueface song, I said, "Nah, there you go." We went from the mariachi, we went straight to the Blueface, and just the lyrics alone of that song wasn't so much just the stupid lyrics. I'm gonna like bone this broad down, but just saying some ignorant shit.
Right.
And
which music's turned into ignorant.
no,
shit
I get that, but when you're crossing the line now, and brothers of anything are so sensitive about their shit. So now imagine a real popular Latino artist coming out with a dashiki with a Shaka Zulu fucking suit, talking about my warrior. Nah, dude, they would kill that guy. Or a white man, even worse, do some shit like that. They will hang him. So it was just, we need to keep the balance of respect the same. Only because you have a more popular agenda or more popular people, you guys have much more entertainers, doesn't mean you can cross the line with us how you would not like that line crossed with you. And that's where I stand.
I mean, yeah, with the entertainment aspect, from a person looking at it from the outside in, that's respected, you know? But, for example, too, as an entertainer, right? Like, how many people have not disrespected in so many ways, different cultures in their own way, because they're entertained, they're playing a role. Like, to me, all that stuff, like, the rapper, the whatever, like I said, the lyrics, trash, you know, but they see it in a business perspective, right? Well, I mean, people are gonna bump it regardless. There's a lot of people in the Raza community that bumped it, that still played with it, that still fucking replayed it, that whatever it is. Like, we sit there and replay other shit that's entertaining to us that might not make sense or could be offensive to other people, you know? So I think, like, again, it's perspective, right? So when you look at it like that, I could understand how a lot of people could feel offended, you know? But at the end of the day, we keep crossing the line on all ends, you know? Not just them on our side, us on their side, or the whites and whatever it is, you know? So I think until we start learning how to communicate amongst each other without having animosity, and then also being more... See, we're reactionary people instead of just constructive people. So if we would have went things a different route, I'm sure that he's in the entertainment business and he's around brown people.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I'm sure somebody behind the scenes, producer, director, something, they're not all black. So if somebody there was speaking in behalf of the raza and could have spoke up, but didn't, then the question is, like, how are we all viewing this? You know, maybe the dialogue would have been like, do you think that's appropriate or whatever, you know, this and that or whatever. But once the song's recorded and you're making millions off it, and then you have our own people bumping that shit, then, you know, it's kind of like...
The song is this. Let me, when you were saying something, the song is this, is, like I said, me coming out, maybe with an afro, with some jerry curls, talking about chicken watermelon, and I got this hoe, and I got my chicken and watermelon. That's what he was saying, dude. He was saying the worst stereotypes you could think of, and unless you can put it that way towards a black man, he's not going to see that. It's wrong. It was offensive.
I put it like that to one of the guys, and I was like, would you be willing to do that? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. He was like, I'll come out with some Kool-Aid, watermelon, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's just about us taking a fucking risk instead of being so, like, you know, okay, let's see if we'll do it or not. And I think everybody will take a certain risk for, like, now we do shit for, like, followers and fame and all. It's not even more entertainment anymore. It's really not, because it's just bullcrap. But if people just took a chance, like, I mean, you have... like the tax collector, the movie, right? A white dude playing a brown face. That's a risk, because you have plenty.
That happens all the time.
Of course, but you're jumping into a character and you're entertaining, and people support it. If it's so offensive and you are so disrespected by people keep taking our position and what we could do better, and we need that respect, then where are people standing up and speaking up before it airs or before it gets so popular, before
we don't
whatever,
have a
you know?
we don't have a platform as of yet, and the guys who are on top, the Latino actors, they won't say anything. They're scared. They're scared to lose their money. That's one thing I've noticed. I'm not a big guy.
I agree. We don't have the same spokespeople
That's all it
that
comes down to.
the BLM
That's
or
all
the
it
white
comes down to.
community have.
Platform.
You know,
That's
so
all it comes down to.
that, you know, so therefore when you have people, let's say at the bottom of the totem pole, right, like whether it be fans or critics or whatever, I mean, at the end of the day, it's fucked up because your voice really isn't heard. You know, as long as these record labels are making their profit and they're getting their work done and it's executed like that, I mean, I'm sure the guy could hire bodyguards and not give a damn if the homies in the hood hate that song or not, you know, or YG or whatever.
Maybe
But in both videos, you had solid motherfuckers in the background. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to like we pick and choose.
But was there any guys who regretted that? Because I heard there was.
Not that it was brought to my attention.
Right.
You know, I think because I'm trying to like go through the roster, and if anything, a lot of people got like more following and more attention. So you know, I guess bad publicity is still good publicity. I don't know.
Would you, if you can turn back the hands of time, would you still do it again? Do you think most of the guys would still do it again?
Would I do it again? Yeah, why not? And then it's done, you know. And then as far as the guys, I can't speak about nobody. I mean, I could speak on behalf of like my immediate family. Like some of them were there, and I mean, they were like whatever. Like, you know, some came back saying, "Damn, if we really be like tripping on this shit, whatever." And I'm like, if we lose sleep over this bullshit, like, we'll never be successful, because then we would be walking on eggshells to what to cast, what not to cast, what artists I'm gonna work with, what not artists, what I'm gonna work with, what race. But in this business, you work with every population, you know, and it's like, if you're selective, you might as well just limit yourself to like, you know, different things. And I get it, like, that's one specific music video. But if now let's go into, let's say, filming. What about if I have to ask one of the guys to play a fucking snitch or a rapist or something they're against? Like, it's a role. And let's say you come into character and you're like, oh, what are the homies gonna think? Because it's like, I mean, me, myself, the homies don't pay my bills.
Right, I get
you
that.
know, like stuff like, so it's just like really where you are with your self-confidence, where you want to go with your career, what you want to explore, what lines you're willing to cross over and challenge yourself. And I think that's just what we did. We took a leap. It was like, all right, we're gonna get hated, and we knew. We walked in there knowing, y'all ready for the comments that are coming, because we gonna be in the kitchen, and some of the guys were like, fuck that, like we writing together, like it is what it is, you know, and we wrote it out. It hasn't stopped me from getting work. If anything, it's gave me more work, and it's brought me closer to like more access to the Black community, and not only in that perspective, like where they're disrespecting us or anything, they really have opened the doors to like other things, because whether we like it or not, that race is a lot more structured and organized when it comes to business. And we as raza, we pull each other down like the crab syndrome, you know. So if that community is going to embrace and say, you know what, I understand, because even after that, like, the artist himself was like, damn, like, I seen how much, like, heat you guys got, and, like, he reached out, like, you know, I'm sorry, like, you know, he made it known to us. But what they don't understand is, like, even the history behind him, you know, like, the mother of his children is Raza, right? We filmed that at his grandmother's house. We heard stories from her and the shit she had to endure from our people when she moved into that community. And like different things like that, like people don't know what happened behind the scenes, and they don't know a person's real story or whatever it is, you know, and you learn. But it goes back to, we took the heat. This person even took accountability, like, damn, like it escalated to that, you know, but we've also been embraced in different other ways. Like, hey, you know, if you guys ever need this or whatever, or we've been welcomed like down in the Black community, and we've been even offered work more than the people in our own race have witnessed and haven't even picked up the phone to offer anything. You know, which also makes me question of like, how much do we want our raza to be seen and built and grow? You know, if we're gonna be selective of, oh, well, who does she fuck with? What does she do? You know, and to me, it's just a lot of controversy that comes from ignorance of like education, like history wise. And let's clarify, I'm not calling anybody stupid, because ignorance is not meaning stupid. It's just lack of knowledge of things. And, you know, and I don't think, honestly, I think what made it worse is just because of the time that it was aired out, right? Like all that controversy with the vendors and what was happening. And was it the right moment? Probably not, you know, but, you know, but I think like, okay, it's done. It is what it is. And it's like every news, like that shit died out onto the next project. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like if I sit here and dwell like, oh my God, you know, who did I make unhappy? Who did like fuck? I'll be without a job, straight up, you know. But I think also the people I cast, they're over 18 years old, they're grown ass men and women. You offer them a job, they want to take it, they don't. That's up to you. I'm not gonna be mad at you. You're not gonna get fired if you don't take it.
Anything else you want to tell us before we cut the cameras off? Like maybe where Jimmy Hoffa's body's at, or something, or something here. I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to talk about this when we're rolling here, right?
No, I mean, you know, it's just there's just a lot of controversy with shit, and until we start learning how to come together, because as far as where I grew up, or people, I always saw like a black neighbor, or I went to school with a black, or like, so I don't understand where all that hatred comes from, and it stems like from generations and generations, and just people just jump on the wagon with shit, you know. And but it's vice versa. I could easily tell you like, yeah, homie shouldn't be listening to, you know, oldies and this and that. Like I could easily say, well, blacks need to stop eating tacos and tortas and shit, because at the end of the day, if you don't like us Mexicans, stop eating our food or whatever, you know, stop dating our women, or, you know, whatever the hell. But it's never gonna happen. It's just everybody's in a conflicted situation where I think people just need to start making a decision of your own, live your best life. I have a tattoo around my elbow that says, love the life you live the life you love. And if you live every day and you do whatever you do without no regret, then you don't have to fucking worry about anything else. I mean, I was told one time, you could go as far as killing somebody if you could live with that. You know? So anything you do in this life, you could live with and do as long as you don't have no regrets. And like with me, every experience has been a lesson. Even with that, whether the hatred, whether the comments, whether whatever, I learned from it, you know. And has it stopped me? Like I said, no. It's for damn sure it's not gonna slow me down, you know. But it's just a learning experience, like cultural sensitive to different people. People are in different levels. That's it. It's like when people say, fuck all these gangsters, I have to sometimes tell people, hey, like, gang in itself is a culture, like, chill down, you know, because some people come generation, that is their culture. You can't just defend it like that, you know, or whatever. But people are still going to do it. And even within homies, they still do it. Like the ones that have transitioned out, sometimes they look back and they look down at the ones that are still doing this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So it's kind of like hypocritical.
Yes.
So, you know, I think...
You helped cause that problem, and all of a sudden you don't want. And we all got the homies. So.
You know, and but yeah, I was responsible for that, and
there you go.
It is what it is. Oh well.